Steve, a couple of changes, a couple of guys back in. Noah feeling a bit refreshed after having last week off?
Yeah, so he had a head knock a couple of games ago, and he's returned through his HIA protocols and trained exceptionally well on Tuesday, and we'd be expecting another really good session from him today. But yeah, I think he was very energised after our win against the Waratahs on the weekend, and very keen to get back out there.
They really had to dig deep in that one, the boys. Was there a bit of a buzz for, I guess, seeing that one through?
Yeah, particularly with the conditions in the second half. I thought we handled them quite well. We finished the game quite strongly with the forwards sort of dominating inside their 22, and yeah, there was a buzz in the shed after the game for sure. I mean, Waratahs have been playing quite well all year. That they've certainly started their games well, and we said at some stage they're going to give up, that the mental side of the game is probably going to be too much for them, but it didn't happen, so the boys had to struggle the whole way through the game. So there was a lot of satisfaction out of that game for sure.
Shaping up as potentially a really similar clash this week against a side that's in the same situation on the ladder, also been dealing with a few injuries, but knows how to win games, I guess. Yeah,
they're not far off 8th at the moment. I think sort of 4 points will put them inside the 8, provided other results go their way. But they've been, you know, when you look at their games throughout the year, they've been close in a number of their games, and they're actually playing really good rugby. It's just not resulting in the wins each week. So it's a similar challenge, definitely, to the Waratahs last week, who we thought had played really well throughout the season but hadn't got the wins as well. Crusaders, you know, it's a traditional rivalry, similar to last week with the Waratahs and the Brumbies, and Crusaders Brumbies is always a traditional rivalry that the boys get up for every year. It'll be no different this year. They've got a few changes. They've had a few injuries throughout the season, but last week they had a couple of injuries, which changes their lineup a little bit for us. But you know, we know that they're very well drilled. They've come from a really good academy program over there, the guys that are in the team this week, and it's going to pose a massive threat to us.
It's a team that just have almost been that bogey side the last 15 years now. Having the 04 stuff going on this week though, is that a little bit of an extra, I guess, boost for these guys to want to write their own names into the books now?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think the last 11 games that we've played against the Crusaders we've lost, so we've got a pretty bad track record, but the guys that are playing on Saturday haven't really been a part of that. They've been there for the last couple of years, so it's certainly an opportunity. You know, we got close last year with a team that we made a fair few changes in, so that was one of our games. The Crusaders game and the Force game last year were 2 games earmarked by Rugby Australia as opportunities to rest some of our players that were competing in the World Cup. So we made some big changes, like a number of changes leading into the Crusaders last year, and we were still fairly close, but very disappointed coming out of that game. So yeah, these guys sort of have more recent disappointment, but we've certainly had a long period where Crusaders have had it over us. So we've spoken about that. We've spoken about the opportunity that presents this weekend. We've also spoken about how dangerous the Crusaders can be when they're on.
How much have you talked about just the guys from 04, that legacy this week, given a lot of them are in town for this week?
Internally, it doesn't sort of factor in the preparation for the boys. They're very conscious that there's a few reunions. So we had a Stand Sport segment last night. We have a State of the Union luncheon tomorrow, which will involve most of those guys, and then they'll be around on game day. I think there'll be some sort of tunnel set up from those guys getting the boys out on the field. So they're conscious of it, but it's not going to help them play any better. You know, what we did 20 years ago is certainly not going to help the guys play any better this weekend.
I suppose a lot of the guys that are going around at the moment wouldn't remember a whole lot from it anyway.
We keep them informed. Occasionally we're putting up slides of 2004 or the early 2000s where we had a fair bit of success. A few of the players have come in and spoken to the boys. We're probably going to see a couple of them around training today. So Most of the guys are aware of the names, but they probably don't recognise the faces.